Anybody care to guess how far away the nearest star would be if this is the size of the sun? Okay, it's 4 light years away. What does that mean in something this size? I just did the calculations. Right now, Proxima Centauri, the nearest star, would be where Buenos Aires is for us. So just to give you a feel for how immense space is, that's the closest star. If this is the size of the sun, the closest star is in Buenos Aires. So if you start thinking about how big space is, the other side of the Milky Way would be out past the orbit of Pluto for us right now. The best way we could see it is if there was some place where another universe was intersecting with ours, the laws of physics might start acting weird in one area of the universe. But we haven't seen that right now. Right now, we think the laws of physics apply everywhere we've looked in the universe. So again, if it's hard to wrap your head around this and quantum physics, this is Max Planck before discovering quantum physics and after discovering quantum physics. So it's just, it's not your fault, okay, to do this. But yeah, you see, some people were just taken right to it. They were doing somersaults. He got me and spun me around. So I completely lost orientation, and that's that very brief period of time. I didn't even realize I was upside down at this point. And when they started calling feet down, coming out, I'm struggling here to get back down to the floor, which turned out was the ceiling. I didn't realize I was already on the floor. And that was just in the course of 5 seconds. Elon has said in his recent biography, he said, if any of my businesses fail, humanity's going to die. Because, again, he's looking at his businesses as fueling his vision of getting humanity off. So that's kind of what's driving him. But he sees hundreds of these kinds of flights happening to Mars over the course of decades, and then you start building out this Mars habitat. And so you end up with 4 phases of Mars habitation. You've got the initial landing, setting up a small base, then a larger colony, and then finally you have this. This woman here who's working on the tile is one of the thermal protection engineers. She's Ann Miklos. And Ann had a very interesting connection to Columbia. She had been dating astronaut Dave Brown, who was aboard the Columbia. And they had broken up about 6 months before the accident, but she was still his +1 at astronaut events. And so Dave Brown was flying a watch for her as a gift to bring back to her. And that watch was recovered out in the forest. And the time of the accident frozen on the face of the watch. Anne has showed me this watch. It's just amazing to talk to her and to see this. But again, think about the personal connection. These folks had all worked on Columbia. For them, the Columbia was like the 8th member of the crew. It's like, people were saying it's like trying to tell the story of Star Trek without talking about the Enterprise as well. Columbia was a living and breathing thing for these engineers who had worked on it for their entire career. So she invited me to come with her to the Air and Space Museum and talk in front of Discovery. And to really test the friendship, I said, well, while you're in the Washington, D.C. area, my family's there, would you go to dinner with us? So here she is with my kids and my grandkids. And I was just talking to my granddaughter about look at the look in my granddaughter's face, talking to Eileen. But this is what she loves best. Eileen loves nothing better than to inspire young people to go into technical fields, to learn, to study, to push themselves, to never give up, to always dream big dreams. But to sum it all up, what it basically says is, yeah, you saw something, you weren't cleared to know what that something was. That's one of ours, but we can't tell you it's one of ours because it's being created under a other top secret program. So there were all of these people in different secret programs who were seeing the work being done by people in other secret programs, but you weren't cleared to know what those were.